What's going on, lovely people? Welcome into the show. You're tuned in with Fred and Dre, and this is the Flea Flicker Show. What's going on, Fred?
Not too much, Adrian. Hanging out at the in-laws' house today and in their office. So obviously a different setting, but we'll be back at the home soon enough. Back
It
at
kind
the
of looks
homestead.
like an in-law house.
Very much that vibe. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah.
How was the weekend? I know Kaya had the regional soccer game. How'd that go?
Oh, yeah, it went pretty well. They won, so that was cool. A little drama at the end of the game. Girl
Drama's
got
always
red-carded.
fun. I mean, there's a lot of drama in the over across the pond when they go to soccer games, and any taste of that makes it a lot more exciting.
Yeah, I didn't expect a fist fight in the stands at a high school girls soccer game, but hey, who knows? You see it all, I guess, in those things.
People are crazy down there. They take soccer seriously, I guess, in Kentucky. I thought it was football, but I guess it's the proper football, right?
I think it's just every sport. I think Kentucky's a big sport state. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of drama in the NFL too. A lot of
injuries.
A lot of injuries this week. Yeah,
The big names.
A lot of games that I didn't go my way too. I did not do good this week, unfortunately.
You didn't. I won another week, and I won another game of the week as well. So
yeah, well, we can talk about that when we get to it. But yeah, let's get into some news. Chase Claypool traded to the Dolphins. That's it's kind of a big trade, but kind of not, because he hasn't really done much, and he won't be like a huge thing for the Dolphins unless, like you were telling me before we started recording, unless an injury happens, basically.
Yeah, it's just like the KJ Osborne situation in Minnesota. So Justin Jefferson went down, and now KJ Osborne gets a really good opportunity as the big body target because he's definitely a red zone target compared to Addison. But both of those guys are going to be booms in terms of fantasy. And if anything happens to Waddle or Hill in that offense, Claypool can be a league winner for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Just probably not on your fantasy team because you have bad luck with dropping players for whatever reason.
I dropped Justin Jefferson, or not Justin Jefferson. I dropped
I
dropped KJ Osborne like a week ago, and I dropped Gardner Minshew the same day. I dropped Gardner Minshew on Sunday, and Richardson got hurt, and now both players, KJ Osborne and Minshew, are going to have a full month of starter roles. So that's always fun.
That's tough.
I dropped Zach Moss in the preseason in my dynasty league, and then ended up getting the starting role. That was not fun. So I've regretted that decision. And you win some, you lose some, though. So
you win some, you'll lose some. Some players came back this week, though, from injuries. Von Miller back with the Bills. He didn't do too much in his first game back. Cooper Kupp, he did do much in his first game back. Unfortunately for you, but I mean, we'll talk about it later. The Eagles.
Unfortunately, but fortunately, they were fine.
Yeah, and then Jonathan Taylor came back. He also didn't do too much in his game back.
They've said that over the next month they're going to ease him into the role because he wasn't present during camp during the first 4 weeks of the year. That it's going to gradually build to the full workhorse role. So he's going to start at like 20%, 40%, 60%. Just keep going up.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Not great for Zach Moss owners, but I mean, Zach Moss has been doing really good. Maybe he can try to.
It might. Who knows? I mean, it might end up being like a pretty split backfield. At the end of the day, they might not go a full workhorse for Taylor. It could go 60-40. So if there's 40% of carries going to Zach Moss, that's still a good workload and a team that.
Mm-hmm. See, if there's that much percentage going to Zach Moss, then I don't know if this JT contract is worth it because he just got paid 3 years, $42 million, 26.5 guaranteed. That makes him the third highest paid running back, right behind McCaffrey and Kamara, for average pay per year. I think it's like $14 million per year, which is a lot of money. So
for a running back,
you think for a running back, yeah,
for us, yeah,
for us that's godly money. That would be, I would be able to quit jobs, but yeah. So we'll see. That's either going to build up the running back market or it's going to crash it if JT doesn't play well or if Zach Moss gets like more carries than him and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I
So
agree.
it'll be real interesting. Other than that, I just wanted to hit the bye week teams because they kind of all watched teams in their division get wins, which isn't great for the early bye weeks.
No.
The Chargers and the Seahawks both watched the Chiefs and the 49ers pull ahead by 2 games this week, which isn't great. The Bucks watched the Falcons and the Saints bring that division to a tie at 3 wins each. And the Browns at least got to watch the Steelers take the Ravens down a peg. So that's something. But they both remain a game ahead of the Browns off the bye week. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to evaluate and kind of just sit back and watch your team, watch your competition improve. And like, I mean, the Jaguars had like a get right week this week, and
Yeah.
if you're sitting on the sidelines for that, that's something that's not fun to watch. And um, speaking of bye weeks, a lot of times the players just take advantage of those and get to do things like go see their alma maters and go see
Mm.
family. And speaking of alma mater, Baker Mayfield was in attendance at the Red River rivalry. That's a tongue
Mm.
twister there, but Texas, Oklahoma, and to my dismay, Texas lost, but it is what it is. Oklahoma looked really good. Their quarterback had like the game of his life, so should hope to see them in the Big 12 championship. It'd be a good game.
Yeah, we will definitely see. They look pretty good.
Yeah.
Speaking of college, though, real quick, did you see the Will Ferrell? He was at the USC game, or no, he wasn't at the game. He was at the his son's frat party, DJing for the frat.
He was at the frat party living it up. Like, what was the movie that he was in?
Old, old, old,
Old
old
School.
school.
Yeah, with Luke Wilson.
You my boy, Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, good stuff. But let's hop into these games, huh?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Thursday night football. The Bears went into the Capitol and took the Commanders on, and I thought the Commanders were going to show out, but this defense is not good. I said they were good last week. They're not good. They've been dropped more than 30 on them every week. And the Bears,
Now 40 to the Bears.
they
Oh,
went off.
shit.
They won 40-20 in just a crazy game that I did not expect. The
I will
DJ
say,
Moore
I'm going to have a slight correction there. The Bears did not go off. DJ Moore went off.
Yeah, no, you're right. DJ Moore.
DJ Moore was insane.
The trade panned out just
Yeah.
for this game alone, I think. 230 yards and 3 touchdowns in one game. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Now, Dick Butkus, RIP, his death may have given the Bears a bit of a boost in this one because they were literally unstoppable in their first win of the season. They snapped a 14-game lose streak. And Justin Fields looked real good too. 282 yards and 4 touchdowns. The only thing that was kind of bad about this was that their running back core got beat up even more. Khalil Herbert went down with an ankle injury. He's going to miss multiple weeks. So
Rashawn Johnson has a concussion.
Yeah.
But Foreman's coming back off of injury, so at least they get some kind of help there at running back. And Foreman was pretty good last year with the Panthers, so if he can show any of that, he's been a consistent journeyman in his career. But I do think that if Rashawn Johnson clears protocol, that he will be the RB1 in that backfield because they're going to want to see what they have in the rookie RB. He flashed a lot of potential in the short season so far, but has just kind of not done much because the offense hasn't done much, and now the passing game's woke up. He's also a better receiver than Foreman, so I think that's going to play into a lot because they're really trying to use Fields a lot more and have more design runs for him instead of RB runs.
Yeah, he's got that natural big body too. He looks like he should be a starting running back, Johnson. He's a huge guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big man. He's a bruiser. He's what, like 220, 230 or something like that. He's
huge.
He's a big guy and he's quick.
It's like Brandon Jacobs, who he reminds me of.
Maybe not as tall, but
legend. Should I go get my Brandon Jacobs jersey out? Maybe. Dust
maybe.
it off.
Maybe.
Sam Howell, he had another up and down game. 388 yards and 2 touchdowns. Threw a pick. He's fun and exciting, but you can see his his mind like turning as he's trying to make these plays. He's just young, making mistakes out there.
Yeah, he
Happens.
has to get rid of the ball a lot quicker too.
Yeah, that's big.
That's
A lot
huge.
of
I mean,
sacks.
his offensive line's not great, but you have to be aware of that, and you have to release quick. You have to go through your reads very quick, and if they're not there, get rid of the ball or take off, because he can take off and use his legs. So, but holding the ball as long as he is, it's really piling up the sacks there for them. He's on pace for 99 sacks on the season, which would be an NFL record. So
Not good.
that's not a good look.
There's only one other team that's like on par with them right now in the terrible.
We know who that is. Yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Let's move to London though. 9:30 a.m. morning game. I wasn't even awake when you were messaging me about this one, but yeah, the Jags.
Baby Jack had me up really early. So
Oh, did he?
oh yeah.
Of course he did.
He was up. He was ready. He goes downstairs, sees stuff on the TV for the Bills Jags, and he's going football, football. Can't really say full foot, but he says football. So
that's funny. Yeah, this was a good game though too. Jags took on the Bills in London. Home game for the Bills, but not really a home game. So that's kind of
there was a lot of blue in the stands though, and those fans got rowdy. Like I feel like they were louder than Orchard Park.
I mean, hey, London goes hard for their sports.
They go hard. That field's sick though. The Tottenham Spurs. I don't know if you saw the reel I put on our story, but the soccer field like collapses and goes into the stands.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
They build the football field on top of that, and it was really cool. Definitely worth a check.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, check out that stadium. It does sound and look super cool. But some injuries for this one. Zay Jones, he played, but then got hurt again, I believe, right? Yeah. Knee injury. The Bills, Von Miller was in, but Greg Rousseau was out. So that's unfortunate. And then the Bills had another couple of horrible injuries in this one. Matt Milano broke his leg, done for the year. Day, our boy from 607, tore his pec. He's done. That's two big names for that defense when they already lost a corner. That's tough. They got some tough losses.
Three very impactful defenders down for the season. It's huge.
Yeah, and you could say that might have affected this, but the Jags looked like they came to play in London again. Trevor had 315 yards and a tutty. Ridley got a lot of those yards with 122. He was going off out there. Travis Etienne too.
Tre'Davious White not being there likely definitely helped a little bit with Calvin Ridley because he was open all day on the sidelines. He wasn't open like for huge gains, but he would get like 10, 15-yard chunks, and that's really what you need to do when you're struggling like the Jags had been on offense. So I do think that Zay Jones coming back in, I don't think it was a coincidence that the offense opened up a little bit more when he came back. He got a touchdown right away. He's just a presence on the field, and he opens it up for Ridley and Kirk. So if he's out for any significant time, who knows? We might see some more struggling for the offense. I don't know, unless they go and acquire another piece.
Yeah, they got Travis Etienne going though too, so they do have help from the running game. 136 yards and 2 tutties. But
did you see? Etienne said that he was playing against himself in fantasy.
Oh no, I didn't see that. That's
the guy he was playing had himself, and he was playing against him, and that's pretty funny. You put up a game like that, and you're like, "This is great for me here," but sucks that I'd probably beat myself in fantasy.
Yeah, I think he cares about more on the field, but
yeah, it depends how much money's at stake for his fantasy. I don't know if they can put money at stake. I don't know if that's considered betting or not, but
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bills didn't look bad though. Epinesa led a pretty good pass rush.
He looked
with all
good.
the injuries. Yeah, he looked pretty good, and he's not known for that, but he really stepped up with Rousseau out and Miller not really being able to do too much. Josh Allen tried to win this one, 359 yards and 2 tutties. Diggs and Davis both went over 100 on for the receivers, and they both scored too. And the defense got 5 sacks, so they were out there. No run game though, definitely I think affected them. Cooks literally had negative yards, so that's not good.
Yeah, they just stopped using him like the entire second half. They stopped running the entire second half. Like
they just gave up.
I will say, Gabe Davis though, like he came out of nowhere because most of the game he wasn't doing anything. In the last like 5 minutes, he ended up getting like 100 yards and a touchdown. It's like unfortunately, I was going against him, but I ended up winning that game still. But it was very frustrating seeing that early on.
Yeah, this was a huge win for the Jags against a good Bills defense and both good Bills team in general.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it a tough loss though for the Bills.
Bills may be active on the trade market, so they
yeah,
still do have
with all those injuries.
Super Bowl aspirations, and with those injuries, they might go to acquire some defenders.
Yeah, they might be calling up the Broncos. They
I don't
seem
know
to
how
be.
many people you want from their defense, though.
They have some good ones. They're just like it seems like they can't fucking play in that team. I don't know what's happening with the Broncos defense, to be honest. Well, let's move though to Atlanta. The Texans and Atlanta. This was actually a pretty good game. It went crazy in the fourth quarter in Atlanta Stadium. The Falcons, they had the final laugh. They won 21-19 over a Texans team that was doing pretty good. Stroud broke the record for most pass attempts to start a career without an interception.
It's legit. He passed Brady, right? Was Brady at number 2? Or is he now at number 2?
Brady. I think it was Brady. I don't know off the top of my head, but I do remember them mentioning Brady, so it was probably Brady.
They showed 5 on there, and I feel like Brady was the only one that was like a really good quarterback. I feel like the other ones that were up there were like secondary guys that like haven't done anything now. So like Kyle Allen was there.
Well, that's not.
So Kyle Allen was 3rd, and his career didn't pan out.
Either way, Stroud looks good though, so I think he'll
yeah.
be better than Kyle Allen.
I hope so.
We all hope so. This was without Tank Dell though too, because he missed the game with a concussion. So it's one of his leading receivers. So even more impressive. But yeah, fireworks with multiple lead changes right up to the end, where Young Ho Koo kicked the game winner. I love Young Ho Koo. He's like
he's
my
a
favorite
bro.
kicker. Yeah, he's pro's pro.
Yeah, but Falcons turned the Texans into roadkill this game and showed them a little taste of what it feels like to get ran up on, you know?
Yeah, I think the Texans, with the right added pieces in the offseason, I feel like next year they could actually be really good.
I mean, they were even without Tank Dell, they were still moving the ball. They just couldn't get it in the end zone. They settled with a lot of field goals this game, and I think that's where all their points came from. But Ritter, though, he had his best game as a pro, despite having 2 picks. But he put up over 300 yards passing. He ran the ball well, and he had a solid game.
Ritter?
Yeah.
Yeah, it surprised me because I don't think of him as a good quarterback.
I don't either.
But yeah, 329 yards and a touchdown in that rushing touchdown.
But I mean, 3 TDs to 2 interceptions is still not looking at that at face value is not a great stat line. But
yeah, but yeah, he looked tough in the fourth quarter and got this win. I still don't like him though. I think the Texans just need to add like a number 1 receiver and some pieces on defense, and I think they're going to be real good.
I agree.
Let's push to Detroit in basically what we thought was going to happen. The Panthers came to town, and they just couldn't compete with a better team. The Lions won 42-24. The Panthers did put up 24 points, though. So, I mean, that's saying something. They're figuring something out there.
Yeah. This one, it was like we knew it was going to happen, and you kind of feel like it's going to be, for some reason, for me, it's like a battle of cats kept popping up in my mind, and the terrible movie Cats with like the Andrew Lloyd Webber songs, but yeah, something along the lines of like the Lions, they did roar with a victory to adore. The Panthers, they did fall as the Lions stood tall. So something like that, you know.
That belongs in the Cats movie, to be honest.
Something comparing football to ballet, and then Lions seizing the night, call it like the Lions triumph or something. And boom,
that was beautiful.
Instant Andrew Lloyd Webber hit.
I'm swooning. Yeah, the Lions, they did this all with a bunch of injuries, a bunch of young guys being injured. Brian Branch, Amon-Ra, huge one, and Jahmyr Gibbs also.
They did it without Amon-Ra, and they put up 40 points.
Yeah, that's pretty
He's one
crazy.
of the best receivers in the league, and they were able to just move the ball at will.
Yeah. Jared Goff just looks good.
Laporta looks like the second best tight end in the NFL right now, Travis Kelce. Like he's right up there with Kelce, Andrews as the top tight end in the league, Hawkinson, and he looks really good. I think he could have had an even better day than what he did have, and if they didn't jump out to such a big lead and just run the ball.
Yeah. Jared Goff had 3 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown, so 4 total. He looks like a top 10 quarterback to me right
Yeah,
now, which is he's back to his Rams days, and I love it. He's confident over in Detroit now without Sean Payton, or I mean
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay, thank you, without him in his ear yelling at him. And David Montgomery, it was like a blessing for him to go to this team from the Bears because he's been looking really good. 109 yards in the touchdown for him too.
Really good. His per carry is amazing.
Yeah, he looks really good out there. And when with Jahmyr Gibbs back spelling him, hopefully next week, that'll be even better. But yeah, and then Hutchinson in the backfield all day, got an interception too.
Dude, that interception is filthy. Did you see it?
I didn't actually see it.
He's like on the line. He's trying to put pressure on the QB, and he just reaches out one hand and just snags the ball like at the line of scrimmage
He's a beast.
and just starts running with it. I'm like, oh, that was filthy. That was nice.
The Lions look like a legitimate deep playoff team right now.
Yeah, they look a legitimate contender, and the Panthers are still trash. So like this game, we knew what was going to happen, but the Panthers' points were in garbage time. So the Lions' defense shut them down.
Yeah. One good thing, like one of the only good things is Thielen on the Panthers. He's been pretty
He's
good.
just getting force fed. It's like 15
Yeah.
targets a game. It's insane.
Yeah, he's been doing good like every week, but
Yeah.
I still think that the Panthers should like just sit Bryce Young, let him learn with the playbook in his hand behind Andy Dalton. Did you see Andy Dalton took a QB sneak because they were like scared of Bryce Young doing the sneak? That's not good.
That's hysterical.
That's not a good sign, dude.
No. They're afraid he's going to get broken.
Yeah, they did let Bryce Young throw though in this one. Like he had some good plays and showed his skills. It's just he's clearly still like learning how to read NFL defenses and yeah, learning. Let's move to Indianapolis though. The Titans came to town. This was like pretty solid game. The Colts won 23-16. Titans didn't have Traylon Burks. JT played for the Colts, but didn't play too much like we talked about already. The big news out of this one was the Anthony Richardson injury, though. AC joint sprain, which is the same injury that Derek Carr had, but it is a worse like grade of injury, I guess. It's just same injury, but a little worse. He's going to miss.
Lift his arm.
Yeah, it looked really bad. He's probably going to miss about a month, so that's unfortunate for his like progression and learning. But luckily, they have Gardner Minshew, so I don't think they're going to really miss a beat. It's a very different quarterback, but
yeah, it's a different offense with him there. There's certainly going to be less design runs for him, and but he's shown time and time again that he's perfectly fine as a game manager. Doesn't turn the ball over a ton, and he knows the offense there with Steichen. So he has the familiarity there, and I think the offense is still going to be fine. You might even see a better day for most of the receivers. So like Josh Downs had a really good game with Minshew there at QB, and I think he's going to spread the ball around a little bit more. Richardson tends to kind of just hyper target Pittman, so I think for the receivers there, it's a better offense, but I think it's a more complete offense, not necessarily better.
I wonder if they're going to like really push the run game with Minshew in there though too, because Zach Moss looked really good in this one, 165 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then obviously JT's there, so
he just got paid, so he's going to want his carries.
Yes, he will. I'm still surprised that happened. It seemed like they were like done with each other earlier in the year. Richardson though really just needs to learn how to like slide and not take big hits. He's still
not college.
He's still playing like he's in college.
Human beings.
These are big boys, my guy. Yeah. You can't take these hits like that. Hopefully this injury, because he looked like hurt. Hopefully that like shows him like, all right, I got to calm down here.
Yeah, you always got to worry about running quarterbacks when they take an injury like that. Because, like, it can always be something like, I mean, obviously it's not the same injury, but, like, look at RG3. Like, after his rookie year, he did nothing. Look at Carson Wentz. He took an injury, and he was a shell of a quarterback compared to what he used to be. And it happens time and time again where guys get hurt and they're just hesitant on the field and reluctant to run, reluctant to they get trigger happy in the backfield. So we'll see. I hope it doesn't. He's a really good talent and really exciting to watch.
Yeah, I agree. For the Titans, D-Hop was pretty much the entire offense. They were just feeding him the whole time, and that wasn't enough. They couldn't do enough against this Colts team.
No.
It was a huge win for the Colts because that division is like locked in right now, and the Colts could definitely be one of the players at the end of the year. So, not going to say too much else. Tanny was okay. Big interception into the game. Blah blah blah.
Big interception, bad pass.
Let's move to my least favorite game of the week. The Giants went to Miami and took on a ridiculously good Dolphins offense. And honestly, this one was a little surprising to me because I thought the Giants were going to get like absolutely wrecked. But the Dolphins only scored 31 points.
The Giants kept it relatively close for a while.
Yeah.
And then they just couldn't keep up.
The Giants' defense was like the only thing. If the offense could figure their crap out, it's mostly injuries, I think, at this point. But if they could figure stuff out, then this would be a solid team. The offense is absolutely terrible though right now.
No offensive line, no Saquon Barkley. The receivers seem to just keep going out every single week. Someone's going out. So it's kind of hit or miss there on the offense. But yeah, the Giants just couldn't keep up. Looked like guppies in this one, and Dolphins take on Sharks, so there's no reason they couldn't handle the Giants.
Yeah. They actually kind of. I think they took their foot off the pedal towards the end of the game.
It's something they didn't do against the Broncos. I think the Broncos game, they wanted.
Nobody liked Sean Payton.
They were out for blood in that game.
Literally, I think the coaches after Sean Payton trashed Nathaniel Hackett, I think they all agreed to just annihilate the Broncos this year every single game.
I think so. I think that's quite a possibility. And the big thing out of this game though is rookie stud running back Devin Achane. He got hurt his knee, and he's going to be out for probably at least a month. So that's huge for their offense and huge for fantasy purposes. But they did get Wilson off the IR, so at least there's going to be a little bit of help there still for Mostert, but he's not going to be as impactful as Achane because he was insane.
Achane looks good. Yeah, the coach really likes Jeff Wilson though, so I'm sure he's going to get his carries. So pick him up in fantasy. He might be going off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's big for the Dolphins. Big news for the Giants. Daniel Jones went down, neck injury in the fourth quarter. He said that it felt exactly like
Tyrod.
Yeah, he said that it felt exactly like the one that ended his season a few years ago, which is not what we like to hear.
No.
They're still waiting on the MRI, but apparently they think right now that it's not as bad as they initially thought. So he's actually questionable at the moment to play next week. So maybe that's not terrible. I don't think he should. I think we should just start Tyrod for maybe a game or two because this offense is horrible, and I don't want to see.
I know it's in garbage time, but Taylor honestly didn't look terrible back there.
No, Tyrod Taylor's a good quarterback. He started for the Bills for a while.
He was getting the ball out a lot quicker than Jones. So he was getting it out quickly or taking off and wasn't really waiting around to see if anything would develop. And right now, the way your offensive line is, you can't let things develop. Either someone's open right away or no one's open, you take off. So,
yeah, the Giants' defense played pretty solid against this team, though. They got a pick six. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. I see. That was your only touchdown, right?
It might have been actually. To be honest,
it was nice to see Waller getting involved.
Yeah, a little bit.
Been waiting for that, and he got involved in this one, and at least it's something positive.
We thought he was going to be good.
Yeah,
the offense. Nobody can be good in this offense right now. So, but yeah, that was Jason Pinnock, 102-yard pick six. That was impressive, and it made me a little happy to watch this one, a little tiny bit. The Dolphins, though, I did want to say I hit my bet in this one. $10 bet for Achane. I bet against my own team. Isn't that sad? Achane, Mostert, Tyreek, and Jalen Waddle to all score, and nailed it. I hit it. $200 and I think $60 off of a $10 bet. Pretty good stuff. So at least I'm getting some bets right, even though I'm not getting any of my picks right, apparently. But Yeah. And then the only other thing I was going to say about this one is this is the fastest team in the league. We already knew that, but Tyreek Hill, he hit 22 miles per hour in this one to get
Dude,
the fastest play.
that graphic they showed of the fastest plays this year, and it was like 15 plays, and they were all the Dolphins. It's insane. Like, obviously, like right now, a chain sucks that he's not going to be there anymore. But Waddle and Hill is just still so fast, and then Mostert, very underrated as a running back, I think, and that team's so fast, dude.
Yeah, the three fastest players in the league right now are Tyreek Hill, A-Chain, and Mostert. They have like the top, I think, 6 fastest plays right now, which is crazy.
They have the top 15.
It's the top. That's so crazy.
I mean, there might have been like 1 or 2 of Waddle in there, but like they're all the Dolphins.
And then, did you see Tyreek Hill got interviewed about being that fast?
And that practice squad player, he said,
yeah, the practice squad guy, the white boy on practice squad.
White boy fast.
I'd like to see him get in there.
Yeah.
Let's move though. We've been talking about this one enough.
Yeah.
Let's go to a kind of game that I kind of want to hear your take on. Foxborough. The Saints came to town. I thought this was going to be a good game with the Saints and the Pats, but the Pats got skunked. The Saints took it 34-0 in like last week. I think was Belichick's worst game in his career, and this one was like worse than that.
Yes. So. Yeah. You have to wonder, is Belichick maybe towards the end of his career? Is he a little bit outdated in terms of his play calling?
He's in his 70s. I mean,
right? He's old, dude. He's old.
Might be 60s, maybe.
If he's 60, he's a rough 60s. But I mean, the Pats they couldn't handle the divine power of the Saints. This was a saintly beatdown. Saints gave a taste of heavenly destruction in this one. So
yeah.
This was an embarrassing game for the Patriots. Mac Jones is terrible. I've said it over and over again. He's terrible. They need a new quarterback. Zappe came in at the end of the game there, and if they don't start Zappe next game, that's just a travesty. And they have to see something there. And really, again, I'm going to say it, Will Grier. Wrap your Mountaineers visor there and start Will Grier. Zappe, in my mind, a little bit better than Mac Jones, but he's not going to sling it. Their defense is taking a hit right now.
Zappe doesn't have the arm.
They need Grier. They need some Grier action. They need like that kind of magic that comes off the bench, kind of like a Fitz magic type thing going on there. And I think Grier can provide that for them.
Yeah, I totally agree with your take. Mac Jones looked awful for the second game in a row. 2 picks.
He sucks.
He threw a fourth quarter pick 6 that tied Tom Brady's record for pick 6s in Foxborough. Tom Brady was there for like 20 years. Oh my God. Mac Jones, at this point, I'd be a little surprised if they don't just go with, it's probably going to be Zappe first because he's the backup off the bench, but if he sucks. Yeah, and then if he sucks, please just throw in Will Grier. What do you got to lose?
What do you got to lose? They're probably out in their division. I mean,
they're literally 1-4. They are dead in the water.
Dead in the water. On the other side, though, like the run game for the Saints looked solid. Carr looked a lot better this week than it did last week.
Yeah, he looked healthy.
Kamara looked really good.
They should have sat him last week.
They gave Condre Miller some burn there at the end of the game, and he got 11 carries, did a lot with that, and got a TD. But I think he's going to be a really good talent in the league. And going forward, it'll be interesting to see what they do with those two. I think they're complementary talent. So Kamara, a little bit undersized. Maybe they'll kind of spell him a little bit and do a split backfield, but we'll see.
Kamara, second highest running back in the league, so they got to use him though.
Yeah, but second highest paid, right?
Average, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, their pass rush did good against the Pats. The pass rush is terrible. So, but the pick 6, did you know who the player was that got the pick 6?
No, who was it?
Honey Badger, baby.
Oh yeah.
Haven't heard that name in a while.
Honey Badger. Honey Badgers are vicious.
Yeah, that they are. They don't man.
They'll you up.
Let's push to Pittsburgh. This was a pretty good game, actually. Ravens came to well, we knew it was going to be a good game. Ravens Steelers is always a good game. But yeah, the Steelers, defense pretty much took this one 17-10. The Ravens got some guys back. OBJ was in and then out again. And
Bateman was
most of
in.
the guys. What's that?
Bateman was in.
Yeah, they got a lot of their injured guys back and still took an L, unfortunately.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
just the Ravens couldn't handle the iron will of the Steelers this game, and I used an Edgar Allan Poe kind of poem last week, and I guess in that light, it was a little bit bleak here for the Ravens. So maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe the Ravens would have pulled out the W, but the Steelers, man, they showed up. The defense stopped them, stopped the Ravens. The Ravens put up 10 pretty early, and then it looked like they were going to score, and then they did nothing from there. But man, that defense is fun. That defense gets after it, and I will say in this game, it showed that Warren is more productive than Najee in that offense. So
yeah, Najee's on both of my
Najee's
teams,
going
so
to
it's
be out, dude. I had high expectations for Najee coming into the year, but
me too.
Warren looks a lot better than him in that offense.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's like the Steelers have like a Super Bowl defense and a not good offense.
Yeah,
they could
except
be.
George Pickens looked really good.
That's true. That's true. He broke
out
like
134 yards in TD.
Yep, and Kenny Pickett, he had a decent game. He was more like game manager, which is what he needs to be in this,
especially
offense.
Right now. Especially without having Deontay Johnson, without having Freiermuth, without having a legit third option too. I mean, Allen Robinson looked pretty decent in the start of the year, but he's not a number 2. Maybe he's a number 3 with Johnson there, but I'm not sold on him still. He was terrible last year, so I don't think he's going to do too much in this offense. But I think with DJ back, with Freiermuth back, he can do a little bit more. Maybe be a little bit more reckless and be a gunslinger a little bit, but right now he's got to be a game manager.
Yeah, I agree with you for sure. The Ravens really could have taken a commanding lead of the division if they pulled this one off, but
Facts.
TJ Watt, 2 more sacks, including the game-ending sack. He is Defensive Player of the Year candidate already.
TJ Watt he's a monster, dude. Like, he's a Hall of Famer already, but like, just keep building on it, guy. Keep eating.
Keep eating. Let's move to the 4 p.m. games. First one in Arizona, the Bengals headed to town, and they showed up. They looked like Joe Burrow might be healthy again. They won 34-20, and that's without T. Higgins. He was out with a rib injury. The Bengals showed up. Jamar Chase went crazy against this Cardinals defense.
Little bit of a side note here. I was just getting a ton of messages on my sleeper app, and a guy in my dynasty league who lost HA this week and Justin Jefferson just put 20 players on the trading block.
He gave up. It's over.
He's done. He gave up. I mean, so
he saw the writing on the wall.
20 players on the trading block. That's insane.
He's tanking.
Yeah. But it's a dynasty, so like, why are you still offering up all these guys?
Maybe he's giving up on the dynasty entirely.
Maybe he's gonna quit the league. It's his league though, so
maybe the league is just going to shambles. I don't know.
Maybe. All right, continue with the Bengals. A little bit of
Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase went crazy in this one. He's back, 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. Joe Burrow looked healthier, 317 yards and 3 touchdowns. Did throw a pick in there, but if they can play like this is what we thought they were. If they can play like this every week, they can claw their way back into the playoff conversation.
Yeah, a little bit of a claw quip there, and I also have a claw quip in here saying that they dug their claws into the Cardinals for defeat. So, Joe Burrow was back, baby. He came back with a vengeance, and Jamar Chase, dude, single-handedly beat me in a league, and 52 fantasy points, absolutely monster week, dude. He said he's always open, so he was always open. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Higgins, if Higgins comes back, if he comes back and is impactful, who knows? But maybe they'll pick up another option. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think Higgins will be back. Joe Burrow looked like he could actually step into his throws this week. Dobbs finally got caught through 2 picks. They were both like tipped, so they're not entirely on him, but yeah.
It was bound to happen at some point. He was one of my starts of the week. That kind of looks bad on me, but he was doing really good before that, 22 points a game. So, but yeah, it's not much was going here well for the Cardinals. At least late in the game. Early on, they kept it really close for a while, though. It was a really good game to start, and second half, though, Bengals just kind of took over.
Yeah, the Cardinals are a team that like they might make a little noise here and there and give some people trouble later on that are trying to make the
For
playoffs,
sure,
but they're a team that needs to add some players
for sure.
next year or in the offseason. We'll see if the Bengals can pull this off against better teams, though, more skilled teams rather.
Yeah,
You know,
more skilled teams and like better defenses, better offenses. So like if they were to go up against the Chiefs, they were to go up against the Eagles, the Bills, uh, kind of Dolphins. Dolphins are better offense, but they may have a worse defense than the Cardinals. I don't know. Certainly
I think
not. It's certainly not like much better.
yeah. No, I agree. Let's move though to the game of the week. That wasn't really a game of the week, but it was my game of the week. The Eagles went to LA. I almost said St. Louis. I like almost mess up every time, and then for some reason I say it so that you know I almost messed up. But Eagles went to the Rams Stadium and took care of business. It was a close one. It was a close one. The Rams were fighting, but it just seemed like the Eagles had more talent, which they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eagles went to the City of Angels and soared to victory in this one. So I was a little nervous at first. The Rams were coming out firing in the first half, and but second half, the Eagles defense turned those Rams into lambs, and they didn't do anything in the second half. It was nice to see though. They really took Cooper Kupp out of the game in the second half. They changed who was covering him. They brought in Roby and had Roby cover him in the slot. So
Yeah, they just added him.
they just added him. They didn't start him because it was like, all right, we just added you. Let's see, make sure that you're acclimated to the defense. And they put him in the second half, and he locked down Cooper Kupp. So, this game did show that Puka and Cooper can coexist. Like I said, Puka operates on the outside. Cooper Kupp operates primarily out of the slot. So they're not going to affect each other too much, and they didn't.
Yeah, they look pretty good together. But the Rams like line just couldn't handle the Eagles D line, and that's what I think.
Jalen Carter, baby.
Yeah, Jalen Carter, unfortunately.
He's a monster.
Reddick actually did really good too. They both took down Stafford a couple times and were in his face like a lot tonight. Or not tonight, but when they played. Eagles remain undefeated, take a solid lead in the division. I think from the looks of it so far, early in the season, it really just looks like the Eagles are going to run away with the division.
Yeah, it does. Especially, we'll get to it in a little bit, especially how the Cowboys game went. So, but yeah, I mean, this one was interesting. You had a lot of stars coming out to this game as well. And there's no Taylor Swift this game, but I guess it doesn't matter. So you had Ryan Felipe, Kevin Hart, Rob McElhenney, Quinta Bronson from what's the Philadelphia elementary school, Abbott Elementary. So she was there. There was a lot of people there. You had a lot of people
for. I mean, they made the Super Bowl last year, so I guess it makes sense. Stars are coming to see them. AJ Brown and Goddard looked like unstoppable on this one too.
Goddard blew up. Blew up. It was the game to happen. He was my tight end play of the week, and he came out this week.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I picked the Rams, so I'm gonna have a nice big black L on my forehead again.
4 weeks in a row.
Woo! Let's move to the Sean Payton versus Nathaniel Hackett game, the Wilson Bowl. I didn't realize until I was looking at the stats that this was the Wilson Bowl too. Russell Wilson.
I didn't realize it like until during the game, and I was like, "Oh, it's Zach Wilson versus Russell Wilson. It's the Wilson Bowl."
I don't think of Russell Wilson as Wilson. I just think of him as Russ. So I guess that's probably why.
Or like Sierra's husband.
Yeah. This is a pretty good game, though, actually. The Jets did end up taking it 31-21 without Javonte Williams, but that did not matter because they had a different running back that looked better than Javonte has all year. Jaleel McLaughlin, who I had never heard of until then.
Yeah, McLaughlin, really weird fact, he's the all-time leading NCAA rusher.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which is insane.
I should have heard of him.
Which is insane. But like all the big names that have come out of college football and been huge NFL names, and that guy was the all-time leading rusher. It's like, uh, how long
How
was
long
he
is
in
he under the
college?
radar?
I don't know how long he was in college.
Yeah, how
But
old is this guy? Should we look
yeah,
it up?
yeah.
Here.
Was he like 30 playing against these guys in college? How is this going? Yeah, he had like 8,900 rushing yards when he was in college.
He's only 23. I thought he'd be older.
That's wild.
Wait, is he a rookie?
Rookie or second year?
Man, we don't know anything about this
Yeah,
guy. Oh my God.
he's a mystery.
We're gonna know him by the end of the year at this
Yeah,
rate, though, I think. He
he's
had
the
seven
NFL
point
man, NFL man of mystery.
yeah, he had 7.56 yards per carry. He looked good out there. Did you see his little his bowl celebration
I
after his
didn't.
touchdown? He
No,
like he does the like bull stomping the ground thing. He said
like
something about doing
LeBron,
that for his mom. I don't know, but
like the LeBron step where he pushes down, or like a bull.
like scraping
Oh, okay.
like he's about to
Apollo does that.
charge. What?
Apollo does that. My dog.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go. He's
My
doing the
little
Apollo touchdown celebration.
my little 15-pound dog does that like he's about to charge you.
Yeah, it was an entertaining game though. I think Zach Wilson was like okay, but I still think that the Jets would have done much better with a different quarterback.
I agree. And with how this week went for a few teams, you might see some guys on the trading block in the next couple of weeks and see if they shake up some noise. But it won't be Gardner Minshew because Minshew's going to be starting for the next month with the
Yeah.
Colts, so at least. Um, but yeah, this was a really good game. The Jets took off and left the Broncos in their dust, but really stay off the runway when Brees Hall's running, right? So
Oh, he looked good.
Brees Hall came out and he looked excellent this game.
177 yards and a
He killed it.
touchdown.
He crushed it.
Unstoppable, basically.
Yeah.
And the defense though too. Quincy Williams, 2 sacks, including a late strip sack that turned into a touchdown that ended the game, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, they looked really good. And Cortland Sutton was locked up all game, couldn't get anything going. I think he only had one catch. Did you see after the game when the Jets Fudge Nugget? What's the Jets coach name? Do you know?
Robert Saleh.
Yeah, when Robert Saleh was shaking Sean Payton's hand, he
No.
told him to stay humble.
Stay
Sean
home.
Payton. He's
Did
literally
you see
getting humbled
Hackett got
this
the
year.
game ball?
Who did?
Hackett.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
That's
he
great.
got the game ball.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
And the players before the game said, "Let's win this one for Hackett."
I love
So
it, and they
they
did.
were literally coming out pissed off at Sean Payton and fighting for Hackett.
Sean Payton really thought he was just going to come back and be a star again.
Nope, you suck.
You don't got Drew Brees anymore, buddy.
Nah, don't got that guy to save you. You got to wash for us.
Yeah, the Broncos though. I think you already mentioned it, but yeah, I think they have a lot of guys on the trade block right now,
Yeah, they should.
specifically on the defense.
They should.
He said that he like didn't want to trade the receivers, but we'll see if that lasts. If they keep
We'll
losing.
see. Yeah,
Let's move though to Minnesota. The Chiefs went to Minnesota in a game that I thought was pretty solid. The Chiefs
pretty
did end up
solid.
winning it, like they tend to do, 27-20. Vikings like to lose games. There were a couple injuries in this one though that were pretty scary when they happened. First, Travis Kelce went down with a non-contact ankle.
He has a
injury.
high ankle sprain, so it's
I thought it was a
worth
low
looking at.
ankle sprain. Is it high ankle?
They said high,
Well, that's much worse if it's a high ankle. I thought it was low.
but he played through it.
Yeah, he had that thing taped up heavy, and then he got like the game-winning touchdown, which just speaks to Travis Kelce. He might have done it for Taylor Swift. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had to gut it out for Taylor. Had to show her that he was tough.
Yeah, but the bigger injury in this one was Jefferson. He another non-contact injury on the turf that I hate.
Turf should
Hamstring.
be outlawed. There should be no turf.
I agree. He had a hamstring injury, non-contact, and he is going to IR, which is not good. He's going to miss like at least a month.
Pick up KJ Osborne.
And Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison if he's available. If he's not, which he probably isn't, he should be starting every single game.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Jefferson
this one,
is tough though.
yeah, it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. But yeah, this one, I think the Vikings, even without Jefferson, even after he went down, I think they really shot themselves in the foot. They had multiple opportunities towards the end of the game to win this, and they just didn't execute. So I think the Vikings really lost it more so than the Chiefs win it. But the Chiefs did prove they're still the rulers of the gridiron and are not to be trifled with. But this, with Jefferson going down for the foreseeable future, it doesn't look like the Vikings will win probably any games.
Depends on who they're playing, but yeah.
Yeah. I haven't looked at their schedule yet, but it really depends who they're playing. But you could see Kirk Cousins go on the block in my mind. That's someone I would love to see go to the Jets. I think Kirk Cousins with the Jets would be phenomenal.
I don't know if they can afford him.
I don't know if they can either, but we'll see. But him paired with Wilson instead as his new running mate instead of Jefferson.
That's a playoff team.
That's a playoff team. That's a playoff team.
Yeah. Spags and this defense were bringing the heat against Kirk all day too. And Kirk looked pretty good. He made way less mistakes in the past few games against a tough defensive front. So
right, so I really think four games for the Vikings. Got Bears, 49ers, Packers, Falcons. If they're lucky, they go 2-2.
They're definitely going to lose to the Niners.
There's no way they beat the 49ers without Justin Jefferson.
I feel like the other three are winnable, though, even without Jefferson.
Even without Jefferson, you think?
I think. Like, what did you say? Bears, Falcons, and Packers?
Bears, Falcons, Packers, the other three.
I mean, none of them are like world beaters. They're beatable. It's tough. It'll be tough without Jefferson for sure.
I think this weekend they play the Bears, and I think that's really going to show what it looks like going forward. Because the Bears, of those teams, certainly have the worst defense. So if they can't score on the Bears without Jefferson, they're not going to score on the Packers, the Falcons, or 49ers. So
yeah, I agree with that. I think the Jefferson injury really affected the end of this one too, since he wasn't there for the game ender.
Yeah, I agree.
Teams that find a way though, and the Vikings seem to not be finding ways. So.
No, not at all.
Yeah, let's move though to Sunday Night Football. We were just talking about the 49ers. They had a game in this one. The Cowboys came to town. People thought it was going to be a good game, but I told you the Cowboys were going to get wrecked, and they did. 49ers took them 42-10. This defense was supposed to be good. Get out of here. Leighton Vander Esch also had a neck strain. He's going to miss a month. That makes another nail in this coffin for the Cowboys season. Yeah, I said I was taking the 49ers in a shockingly easy win with Dak and the offense breaking down while Brock remained steady in the face of pressure. And both of those statements proved true. Dak threw 3 picks. He took 4 sacks in a game that showed the difference between a contender and a pretender.
I love the energy here. I love how amped you are about this Cowboys defeat. And dude, this was awesome. This was amazing. I sat out with Jesse in the freezing cold, because it's cold in New York, which sucks. And sat out with Jesse, watched this game outside, smoked cigars, drank beer, and watched the Cowboys get annihilated. It was
slaughtered.
Sick. The 49ers served up a piece of humble pie to the Cowboys, and they were like, get the out of here. We're the best team in the NFC. And they really proved that it's just the Eagles and the 49ers. There's the only team in the NFC worth the discussion, and Lions as well, probably. I think they should be right up there. But Cowboys are not in the conversation for the top team in the NFL or top team in the NFC. So get them out of here. Micah Parsons. I like Micah Parsons a lot. Even though he's a Cowboy, I liked him in college. So it's really tough watching him with the Cowboys. He's really good, but with a non-factor. He was a non-factor. Receivers were a non-factor. Pollard was a non-factor. Dak Prescott continues to suck, and I don't know why he gets all the love that he does, because he is terrible. His stats are inflated because he has really good games against really bad teams, but anytime he faces a good team, he does.
The defense does most of the work for him most weeks. Like he doesn't have to do much.
No, this was great. Start Trey Lance. Get rid of Dak Prescott.
Let's see
And
what Trey Lance got.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Brock Purdy looks really good
Yeah.
still in this offense.
But still in Shanahan's
Four
offense, like you
touchdowns.
don't have to be the guy that gets 404 TDs. Like he just has to be a
Right.
game manager. He doesn't have to be a gunslinger. He just has to not make mistakes. There's George Kittle. There's Ayuk. There's Debo Samuel. There's Christian McCaffrey, who's arguably an MVP candidate right now.
Yep.
And he's certainly going to run away with the offensive player of the year, especially with Justin Jefferson going down. So you have all those pieces around him. Yeah, NFC, 49ers and Eagles, book it, NFC Championship.
Yeah, honestly, I think so.
Book
Brock
it.
Purdy is the perfect game manager, like you were saying. He's 10-0 in regular season games now. That's nuts. They're Super Bowl bound, in my opinion. I know you think the Eagles are, but 49ers,
Birds.
baby.
Go
Did you see
Birds, baby.
Kittle had 3 touchdowns in a
I
huge
did.
game? Did you see his shirt under his jersey?
Dallas.
I love it.
I love it.
Micah Parsons had something to say after the game about it, but I love it.
This
is a great game for me.
And me.
Okay. We're going a little long here, so let's move to Monday.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football. This was just kind of a sad game for me. I thought the Packers should have won it, but they didn't look too good. Packers went into Vegas and took on the Raiders, and the Raiders took it 17-13 and kind of a, I don't know, a game. Is that the right term? I didn't like it.
Yeah, I think that it wasn't a pretty game. I think this was like the deciding game for us this week and whether or not we were to come out the same record or I was going to come out ahead. But this game, I picked the Raiders, and they showed that you don't have to be pretty to win, but you just have to do enough. So this was more of a Jacoby Myers game than an Adams game. I thought it was going to be an Adams show out, but the Packers, I like Love. I don't know that he's 100% there right now. This is a defense that he should have put up points against with those receiving options that he has, and he didn't. And I do think, Aaron Jones played this game, right? No, Aaron Jones was out. Without Aaron Jones, it shows how impactful he is in that lineup. I think Aaron Jones just really expands the field and allows more to be done that Dylan just does not allow.
Yeah, I think Jordan Love, his decision-making just needs to improve. He's been throwing a lot of picks. He threw 3 more in this one in a tough game for him. The Raiders, they're not known for a good defense, but Max Crosby was in his face all day in this one.
But Max Crosby's filthy.
Yeah, he looked really good.
He's an animal.
I don't have too much else to really say about this one.
No, I think that one's pretty set, pretty shut. That's it. It's a wrap.
That's it. That's a wrap. You heard it from Fred himself. I forgot to say it in the beginning, but please comment, subscribe. If you liked what you see, if you didn't like what you see, comment anyway. Tell us we suck or something. Tell me that I suck at making picks because apparently I do. I don't know. But let us know. Fred, where can people find us?
Yeah, you can check us out on Instagram. We provide a lot of fantasy insight there. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on TikTok. You can also check us out wherever you get your podcast, and obviously here on YouTube. Every Tuesday, we're going to be dishing out our recaps. Every Wednesday, we're going to be dishing out our recaps. Every Tuesday, we are going to be putting up waiver wire predictions on Instagram. Every Thursday, we're going to be putting out stardom situms, and then every Friday, we're going to release our predictions for the weekend. So stay tuned and check out our links in the bio below. And subscribe, follow.
Peace out, flea bags and Fleabag Nation.
Later, y'all.